This news update is brought to you by...
So, I'm meeting Rico later. Gotta check in with the girls, but first, let me check my usage on the MyLime app. Now, what should I wear? Hashtag sexy. He's here.
It's Wednesday, June the 10th, 2015, and this is your Barbados Today morning news update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. We begin with news that what started out as a usual ride from school by close to a dozen Springer Memorial students ended in near tragedy yesterday afternoon after the public service vehicle they were traveling in, ZR125, overturned just outside the river bus terminal in the city. The group included 14-year-old third former Zakia De Freitas, said to have been traveling in a front seat of the ZR. She was reportedly pinned under the vehicle and suffered severe injury to one of her hands. Up to late yesterday evening, she was listed as a red patient at the QEH, following the accident, which also left two other students hospitalized in serious condition. The majority of the passengers, including Deputy Principal Adrian Clark, who among the 21 on board ZR125, when it toppled over, walked away with minor injuries, mainly bruises and cuts to the face, hands and knees, as well as bloodied uniforms, which will serve as a lasting reminder of their close brush with death. The ZR, a Route 7, plied between Bridgetown and Howells and Ivy. Among the large crowd gathered at the scene were Minister of Education Ronald Jones, Parliamentary Secretary Harry Husbands, and Acting Chief Education Officer Kieran Best. An angry Minister of Transport Michael Lashley also arrived on the scene. While details of the accident remained sketchy, Lashley joined with those in the crowd who were against reckless driving.
The owners of these that are vehicles will come under serious scrutiny very shortly in terms of the persons they select. Quite frankly, some of these persons who we have actually put the law in place in terms of uniforms. Yet, you see, some of them still on the road driving teachers and $2,000 fine. Now, I cannot enforce the law. The transport inspectors at this present moment on the law cannot enforce the law. It is the police force, the members of the Royal Police Force that have to enforce the provisions. But the owners of these vehicles, they have a part to play, and they have to select very carefully who they choose as drivers.
And Director of the Transport Authority, Alex LINTON, who was also at the scene, told Barbados Today that the permit of the owner of the ZR would be suspended pending the outcome of investigations into the accident.
We will be, for this particular accident, calling in the permit holder and the driver for immediate meeting within the Transport Authority, and we will take the necessary appropriate action as according to law. But be assured of the public, we need obviously some greater or stronger degree of enforcement and presence on the road. We're working on that with the various government agencies to try to get further power to be on the road and give that degree of presence. But at this time, we are obviously concerned. We are calling in operators. We have done that actually, I think about 3 Thursdays ago, we did with the Redmond Village operators, and we were planning to do with some other operators on the road. We will accelerate that program that we are putting in place.
Staff of the Customs and Excise Department have been assured that the transition to the Barbados Revenue Authority is not a retrenchment exercise. Minister of Finance Chris Sinckler also says the full merger, which will not now be on July the 1st, won't happen during the crop over season if all outstanding issues are not resolved before September. Sinckler said significant progress had been made in providing the trade unions with all of the information they've been demanding regarding the terms and conditions of employment under the BRA.
95% of all of the major critical issues have been discussed and, in my view, fully canvassed. There are one or two technical issues that remain, and at least one of which attaches some legal consequences. So that has to be, we've resolved to ask for an opinion from the Solicitor General's office on that matter, and that's pertaining to the Public Service Act. That should come in short order, and once that comes back and the other issues are dealt with in terms of the unions being able to review and the workers being able to review the documentation which has been provided, the option letters would be able to be issued as per the original schematic. We wanted to give the workers at least 2 weeks, to do their consultations and make up their minds as to whether they're going to accept the offer or not. In the environment which we are operating, it is likely that would be given a little bit more time, when the nature of the information. And my anticipation is that sooner rather than later we'll be able to set a firm transition date.
Meanwhile, customs staff will be off the job on Thursday. However, it is not because of any industrial action. Acting General Secretary of the National Union of Public Workers, Rosalind Smith, says that staff have been summoned to a general meeting at 10 a.m. at the union headquarters, Dalkeith Road, St. Michael, to be updated on the latest round of talks with Minister Chris Sinckler on the planned transfer to the Revenue Authority. Smith said information the union had been demanding regarding the new terms and conditions of employment under the BRA was closer to being disseminated. She said the meeting would also strategize on the way forward.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Farley Hill, Crane Beach, fried chicken at Pug's Bar. All parts of Barbadian life that some might know, but others don't. So join me, Katrina Marshall, as I go about town and across country, peeking into tucked-away districts and liming with the people who bring them to life. About town and across country, coming soon to Barbados Today, news you can trust.
On the regional scene, a fresh war of words has broken out between Guyana and its neighbor Venezuela over maritime boundary issues. Guyana yesterday reacted angrily to a decree by Venezuela, which the Ministry of Foreign Affairs says seeks to annex Georgetown's maritime space. But Caracas responded in kind, strongly rejecting the claims of its neighbor. Venezuela denied it has any intention of forcibly taking over land it claims to be its own in Guyana, and rebuffed statements from the new administration that it was moving to enforce a recent shift in its maritime boundary. We pick up Guyana's position in this report from Capital News.
This is the May 27 decree in Spanish by Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. In it, he announced the creation of a new Venezuelan maritime space, which essentially seeks to make Guyana a landlocked country without a direct access to the Atlantic. In the decree, it was specifically mentioned that the so-called Atlantic coast of Venezuela takes in ExxonMobil's Deepwater Champion rig, which recently made a significant oil find. In a statement today, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs said by issuing the decree, Maduro seeks to annex Guyana's maritime space and denounced the move as an illegality, which seeks to undermine Guyana's development through the exploitation of natural resources offshore. The ministry said that the decree is a violation of international law and made it clear that the decree cannot be applicable to any part of Guyana's territory.
On the international scene, millions of flyers might soon want to buy new carry-on suitcases. Global Airlines announced yesterday a new guideline that recommends shrinking carry-on bags in an effort to free up space in packed overhead bins. The guideline, which is not binding, means that many existing bags currently in compliance with airline rules will not be given preferential treatment in the boarding process. While details of how the guideline will be implemented are murky and could vary from airline to airline, it raises the possibility that many flyers would be forced to check their favorite carry-on bags. Flyers might ultimately need to buy smaller suitcases or pay a fee to check their bags, typically $25 each way. And on that note, we end our Barbados Today morning news update. However, you can join us again this afternoon. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper and email updates, or like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune into Channel 101 on Lime TV and Mix 96.9 FM to get all the latest news and sports. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.